Take a bunch of questions, a pinch of controversy, and 2 cups of opinion. Stir thoroughly and let it set.
Smells good, doesn't it?
Welcome to the Craig Lord Podcast.
Well, good evening, hello, welcome everyone to episode 4 of the Craig Lord Podcast, and this one is slightly special because I do have a VIP guest. Now, the reason for this guest is because of the controversial Erebus Memorial site, Mataharehare, which is the home of Dove Meyer Robinson Park. Now, this has been occupied for around about 7 months in a peaceful protection protest, but recently there has been a change because in the last 24 hours, the contractors have arrived on site and replaced the Rahui signs with their own "construction is about to begin" warnings. Now, due to this situation, I think the Auckland public and actually the New Zealand public overall need to be informed about everything. One of the strongest advocates for not having the Erebus Memorial at Mataharehare is Kahurangi Dame Naida Glavish. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome her to this podcast because her reasonings, her thoughts, her points about both the occupation and the memorial are worthwhile hearing. So let's bring her into the podcast. Hello, Dame Naida. Thank you so much for joining me. We need to, I suppose there's a lot of people who don't really appreciate what is happening there, why it is happening, and where it's at. So maybe this is a good time for you to maybe just start by telling us why the occupation, the peaceful protest is there at the park. That's probably the best place to start.
Well, can I start by saying that I'm a long-serving member of Heritage Council, which is Pouheringa Taonga, and this occupation protection is around the fact that I would have had an opportunity to input to the intent to put the Erebus Memorial there had it been a notified process. However, it was non-notified process, which meant I didn't have an opportunity from the position that I hold in Pouheringa Taonga to actually have a say. And then I discovered through OIA material that in actual fact, the sign-off that was given by Ngāti Whātua Hapu of Orake, they too weren't properly notified of the size, the arborist report, the design. There was no cultural input into the design. There was, in terms of the arborist, I asked directly to the Prime Minister, why did we not have a Māori arborist report? Her response to me, we couldn't find a Māori arborist. And I'm not sure where they didn't look. And
it's one of the most bizarre responses.
That's exactly what she said to me, directly to my face. And so in terms of the arborist, I spoke to the arborist himself, who assured me that he would that there would only be a meter cut off the roots of a near on 200-year-old Pahutukawa tree in order to install this monument. And I said to him, so to cut off a meter from its roots is acceptable? Try putting a nail in your big toe and see if that's going to make a difference to the rest of your body. A meter after 200 years there would have a major difference in terms of where it goes to after that meter's cut off. And so there was no consideration whatsoever. And of course, I am still waiting to hear what has Mataharehare Taurarua got to do with Erebus. I haven't been given an answer yet to that.
What concerns me is the answer, the reason you haven't got it, is my gut tells me because the only answer is vanity project. It's not a true memorial, and that worries me.
Yes, it worries all of us. And so, as well as that, members of the whānau, the families of those who were killed in the Erebus, have made contact and have assured that they did not agree that it go there at Mataharehare as well. So Parnell people who live there have also not been properly, no consultation whatsoever with them. And there have been offers of other sites. And to my knowledge, there are already more than 24 Erebus memorials in the country, including Christchurch and including Mangere, where those planes left from. So why Mataharehare? Why Parnell? Has not been answered.
And now you've explained that. That is something I did not know, that there are already memorial places around the country. That even makes it smell more like a vanity project overlooking the harbour and something almost a self-congratulatory statue site where oh, look at us, look how wonderful we are, here's a tourist place. That's not what it should be.
Just the fact that Auckland City Council, under the present mayor, actually hired a commissioner, and it was the commissioner that declared it non-notifiable. And so Auckland Council obviously is involved. And then just last week, Thursday or Friday, possibly Friday, we received a call. We, as in myself and the kaumātua, a kaumātua of Ngāti Whātua, Ministry of Heritage Council was inquiring through Auckland City Council as to who actually laid the rahui on Mataharehare. Who actually laid it? Was it Ngāti Whātua? So a council representative kaumātua rang a kaumātua from Orake and asked who actually laid the rahui, and was given the answer that the rahui was laid by the kaumātua of Orake, and that rahui is in place to the 29th of November, and that rahui is a properly constituted LORE, which is an LAW to Māori tikanga, to protect the tree and the history on Mataharehare. Now, yes?
Just so, because that's why we're talking about this, that rahui that's been placed, this is being overridden. Is that correct? Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, Friday they asked about it and was given an answer. And yesterday they arrived and they took the rahui sign down and put a sign up stating that the Erebus Memorial project will continue to be completed by June, July 2022. So the intent is also on behalf of the Heritage Council to go ahead.
I find it ironic that the Ministry for Culture and Heritage,
the ministry, yes,
wants to do damage to a site of culture and heritage to put up a memorial. I find that somewhat ironic. If Auckland Council, and I assume Waitemata Local Board, have not been fighting on behalf of Mataharehare, if they're all for the memorial, that means really they've let down Auckland and New Zealand. Would that be accurate?
Yes, in my respectful opinion. However, it was a 4-3 vote. So it wasn't all of the board.
Okay.
It was 4 for it and 3 against it. And the one of the 4 for it assured me that she voted for it because she thought she was supporting the iwi, and then discovered that in actual fact the iwi didn't receive all the information correctly as they should have. As I've mentioned, there was no cultural component to the design. There was none whatsoever in terms of the proper consultation, because it was declared non-notifiable.
So when you say it's non-notifiable, does that mean it didn't need a heritage report? Is that right?
You don't have to notify anybody. You just can go ahead and do it. You have to, I'm sure, apply to apply for licenses and approvals on some things. But if it's non-notifiable, then I don't really know the legalities of that. I do know the legalities of the tikanga of Ngāti Whātua and Māori.
Because it's a power site, isn't it?
It is, yes. It is a power site. Absolutely. And while there hasn't been any objections to the Sir Meyer Robinson Park, there was no consultation either in applying the name Sir Meyer Robinson from Mataharehare Taurarua. So there's no complaints anywhere about it being referred to as the Sir Meyer Robinson. But to bear in mind, there was no consultation over that either.
We call it a peaceful protest because that's what I understand it to
Well,
be.
it is. It is peaceful. You will not see, yes, over 210 days, and you will not see the protest flag up yet. We hope that we do not see the need to put the protest flag up. It is a occupation to protect Mataharehare and Te Ha, which is the name of the between 180 to 200-year-old Pohutukawa tree. Its name is Te Ha, which is the breath of life of Mataharehare.
It's a beautiful, stunning tree, and if anyone hasn't been there and seen it, it's awe-inspiring when you see it. It is so massive, and it's such a wonderful tree to have. So I'm also, it seems as though the people are being ignored here, or a select few people are being listened to because it suits the rhetoric and it suits the end game.
Yeah.
What have you received or seen from other people who've received feedback on this memorial site? Not just the people there who are occupying it, or the people who are in the group, I should say, the circle. Is there anything you've been hearing from outside of that circle?
Well, it's important to mention also, Craig, that that a petition went to Parliament. That petition had 15,000 names on it that absolutely opposes the Erebus Memorial being placed at Mataharehare. And it was led by Margaret Bro, who is the daughter of one of those who was on the Erebus flight. She's led it. So if we've got a member leading it with 15,000 signatures, not only from New Zealand, also from some of the whānau who are actually now living overseas, have also come in and opposed it going there. And there has been an alternate site offered, and that alternate site at Waiorea, which is Western Springs, that it could become a total Erebus park if that's what they want, to add to the other 24 that we have. And yet the voice that's come back to us, and I'm not sure where it's come from, it's not prestigious enough.
Again, that lends itself to the vanity project, doesn't it? Overlooking the harbour, it's not pretty enough. Doesn't have the tourist drag in, it doesn't have the feel-good factor that they want.
Yeah.
But that means the petition, they're being ignored, is what you're saying. Those people have been ignored.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I rang yesterday because of our Rahui sign being taken down. I've rung all over to find out what's happening. And I can say that I did receive a response from the MP for North Shore, and that petition should be heard. And this COVID lockdown, we can blame COVID lockdown. Why would one want to take on another potential bastion point occupation during the middle of a pandemic, COVID, by taking down the Rahui sign and putting up an end result sign of June, July 2022? Why do that? Other than, just to be mischievous. Just to be mischievous. Yeah. There's no good end to it.
I suppose sending the contractors in now, they were hoping for a quiet resolution, stealth mode, so to speak. Just go in and do it while everyone's worried about staying at home. Well,
there's no one from up there worried about staying home. I can assure you.
And that's interesting. So they're still occupying during this pandemic?
No, they're not occupying. But like anyone else who has a right to walk, go for a walk through the park. We go for a walk through the park, yes, at given times of the day. And so there's not a moment that we don't know what's happening at the park.
Where does it go from here then? If the petition's been ignored, such a strong outcry of don't do it, our Ministry for Culture and Heritage is ignoring that. What's the next stage? What do you do next?
Well, it'll be a full-on occupation. It'll be a full-on occupation, and it will be a protest. It will not be a protect. And I can't understand why this government would want that to happen. I've got no doubts that, in all honesty, that was the answer that came back to me. We couldn't find a Māori arborist, directly from the Prime Minister to me. So hearing that, what are we to believe going forward? And what we're prepared to do, is what we will be prepared to do in terms of protecting Mataharehare, historical site, and Te Ha, the historical tree. That tree, you touch that tree, Craig, and you are touching a living entity that was there at the signing of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. Why would you want to destroy it?
Yeah,
that is today.
It's concerning that our Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, is the Associate Minister for Culture and Heritage as well. That makes it a little worse, really. And you've had no other feedback at all from the government?
She is the Minister for National Memorials.
Right.
Not the Associate. She is the Minister for National Memorials. And right. This is a national memorial. After this will be the earthquake down in Whakatane, White Island. That's another national memorial.
Right.
So she is the Minister for National Memorials. And so it clearly sits in her hands.
Yes. But you're not getting any decent responses, are you?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet. You're not going to quit on this, are you?
No way. No way. No way will we. And, you'd think that fronting a pandemic like we are in Tamaki Makaurau would be enough for this government to focus on in terms of what's happening in Tamaki Makaurau without the government being a part of this intent. And it is an intent to do what they want to do at Mataharehare Taurarua for Erebus. And please answer me, what has Mataharehare Taurarua got to do with Erebus?
Yeah, nothing.
Erebus faces south. Yeah. What they're proposing is facing north.
The position over the harbour, that's all it is, overlooking the harbour in the city. Yeah,
of course it is.
Vanity project. Has any other MPs spoken up against or for this?
One MP in particular told me that I should pull out, and got a curt in Māori reo, of course, and the ACT Party leader. Don't know where he's at truly. He's making all sorts of noises that's not for or against. So no, I can't say that there are any MP who's actually speaking out except the Māori Party.
Right.
There's no doubts Rawiri Waititi is speaking out against it, yes.
We need people to make contact. It used to be the old days of write letters. Now it's send emails.
Yeah,
MPs, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely it is. And MPs, where's the Green Party? If you're asking about MPs, and they're not interested in the history of Mataharehare. Where are they? They're traveling overseas.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've found a lot in the last couple of years at least that if it doesn't suit their agenda, they're not interested. And there's no agenda with it for them. There's no gain or loss for them, so they just won't get involved. Sad, isn't it?
True. So change their name. Because this is definitely about the environment.
Yeah. You can't touch a villa in Parnell or Ponsonby without going and jumping through hoops, yet it seems you can stick a big giant concrete and glass plinth that hasn't really, as far as I know, hasn't even been fully designed yet into a park that doesn't require it.
Well, I don't know where that thinking's at either. It's just above and beyond.
Yeah. So
absolutely.
Are there any deadlines at the moment that you know of in regards to the occupation maybe turning into a protest, as you said earlier?
Well, the moment they start thinking they're going to come on there to begin the build, then peaceful protest peaceful protest will become protest for sure. And the end sight, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Does Jacinda Ardern really want to see another bastion point in Tamaki Makaurau?
Yeah.
With in the middle of a pandemic, is that what she wants to see? I'm happy for us to all go back to the table again and start again on it. And the question will be asked as much then as being asked now is, what's Erebus got to do with Tamaki Makaurau?
Yep.
What is
that
it?
That is a major question that is, won't get a proper answer.
No,
Okay,
it won't. It won't.
It won't at all. It won't. Is there anything else you'd like to add to that before we wrap up on the whole situation there?
What? I mean, is there no consideration or respect for the fact that there are 24 others? What is wrong with having the 24 others? And there are members of whānau. And then we'd have to ask, who does the ministry consider to be the descendants of? Because it was only a child of someone who had died on the Erebus. But now you can have the in-laws, there's all sorts of things coming out which don't actually match the original intent that they had. And so where's this going and why? And who is involved in it? Who is it going up for?
Yeah, those are some very, very good points. Kahurangi Dame Naida Glavish, I thank you so much for sharing your insights on this one. I got a feeling it's certainly not over and it's going to get a little heated, and it's such a shame, but hey, at times us humans, we've got to draw a line in the sand and put our feet down, don't we?
Oh yeah, we're in history for drawing lines in the sand, I can assure you. Thank you. Thank you,
so
Craig.
much. All
Kia ora.
right, bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
We all have questions.
Let's try to find some answers. It's the Craig Lord Podcast.
Thanks so much, everyone, for joining me on this short podcast. And it was to the point to understand what is going on at Mataharehare. Thanks again to Kahurangi Dame Naida Glavish for her time with that in this episode. Until the next one, bye-bye for now.
You're listening to the Lord. Hallelujah.